Keith and Keisha were two cute cats. They were brother and sister and lived in a flat. Up on the 4th floor on a rainy day, they would watch the world go by when they couldn't go out to play. One bright morning, when the sun was out, they went down the elevator to the café, no doubt. Today is the day they would leave the big city and visit Mervyn Mongoose in the mountains so pretty. They were off to the Mongoose Café to learn how to cook. Mervyn was a talented chef and had written a book. He could whip, blitz, chop and roll, bake in the oven until a crispy gold. He prepared the kitchen and put out the recipe. Being prepared was very necessary. Keith and Keisha took the bus out of the city with all its noise and fuss. An hour later, they arrived in the mountains. Mervyn was waiting next to the fountain. "Welcome, Keith and Keisha. I'm so glad you have arrived. Let's have a cup of tea and head inside." Once in the kitchen, Keisha looked at the recipe card. "Keith, I think I made a mistake. This looks hard." Mervyn gently replied, "Don't worry, my dear. We'll work through the recipe slowly and take it from there. What's the worst that can happen? Is the cake turns out a little mishappen." They measured the flour, butter, sugar and milk, broke the eggs and whisked them until smooth as silk. Keith tripped and the salt went flying. One egg rolled away and disappeared, quite mystifying. They got back under control and added some baking powder, vanilla and oil while waiting for the milk to boil. There was flour on the floor and sugar in Keith's hair. Keisha smiled at this funfair. Finally, the batter was poured into tins and popped into the oven. It was time to clean up and have tea and a muffin. "Thank you, Mervyn. This was such fun. We tried something new and laughter was had by everyone. We made some mistakes, but that didn't matter. The cake is baking and I can smell that delicious batter." They sat in the garden of the cafe, eating their freshly baked cake and drinking a latte. Smiles on their faces after a fantastic day away. "Oh, Mervyn, we learnt a lot, but best of all, we get to eat this cake still hot." The brother and sister climbed back on the bus, ready to go home, very tired, just like a gigantic walrus. They arrived home to Mimi Mama Cat, regaling her with tales from the Mongoose Café with lots of chit-chats. That night, as they lay in bed asleep, they dreamed of the mountains and all the cake they helped bake to eat.